Houston, our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Repeat, Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we will begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. We'll begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all bends understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all bends understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys? I've missed you. I've taken a few days off and I come back, and the first thing I see is Elena. I think Elena just gifted 100 freaking memberships, which I don't even know what to say right now, Elena. That has got to be a record. Words, I really don't even have the words. I don't know what to say, but that is insanely generous. That is incredible. And so thank you so much. Thank you does not even suffice, but that is insane. I've never seen 100 memberships gifted like that, but wow, thank you. And congratulations. That is literally 100 new members for tomorrow. I really don't even know what to say. That's insane. So thank you. And there's my black heart, and a single black heart like always, but I seriously don't know what to say. That's insane. Like when I clicked on, I was like, Jesus Christ. But thank you and congratulations. And please make sure you thank Elena if you didn't receive it, it's more unlikely than if you did receive one. But please make sure you thank Elena in the chat, because that is just amazing. So thank you so much. What a way to start the live. But I've missed you guys. Hello. I've taken a few days off, but I am back, and I don't know how I missed Allie's live like at the beginning of last week or the beginning of this week. It's the end of the week. Actually, no. Do you guys know that Sundays are the beginning of the week? I associate Sundays with the end of the week. Sorry, but I get distracted easily. Either way, I missed the live of the lawsuit. And then I was talking with Allie today, and she's like, you haven't even mentioned to me once what your thoughts are on this lawsuit. And I'm like, what lawsuit? And she's like, the Letecia lawsuit. Yes, and it's daylight savings time too. And Elena, it screwed up my whole day. The day flew by. Everything, the whole dinner time was messed up. Like everything was messed up. But we're here now, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be with you guys. But I didn't even know about this lawsuit. Shout out to Allie. I think Allie was the first one. Allie and Bendy were the first ones to cover this. And I will drop Allie's link as always. Shout out to her. Amazing. And thank you so much for sharing this with me. Of course, Letecia she just keeps on. She just keeps on. I haven't even had a chance to read it yet. And part of me wanted to read it ahead of time, but I also didn't want to read it. And so we were supposed to start December's calls. But as soon as she showed me this lawsuit, I'm like, we're switching it. We're switching it. And we are going with this. So this is just came about in February. Yes, Callie Dean. So this is an active lawsuit that was just filed. And from what Allie tells me, there's some serious allegations in here. Okay. There's serious allegations in here, but it's Letecia. Do we expect, right, Michelle, then get ready. Do you expect anything else? Okay. And I didn't even get to say hello to everybody, and I apologize for not doing the individual hellos. I think I was just overwhelmed with Elena's generous gifting. And so hello to every single one of you in the chat. I see everybody. I appreciate you guys being here with me. So thank you so much. Hi, Michelle. So you didn't miss much, Jackdo. You just got here in perfect time. So this just is a new lawsuit that was filed in February. And I'm going to pull it up and we're going to go through it. And it's Letecia's own words. And you guys know I love Letecia's own handwriting, own words. There's some serious allegations in here. There's a Valentine's Day card in here. And there's a meat advertisement in here. You heard that right. There's a meat advertisement in here. And so, ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, so hold on. Refresh this. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so ready for this. I've been looking forward to it all day. All right. So you guys remember the prison that she was referring to as Prisneyland? That's the prison. Okay. Thank you, MJ's Wolfie, for being a member. Oh, I didn't even do a thank you thing. Oh my God. 100 memberships. I didn't even do a damn thank you or a little gift box emoji thing. Congratulations to all of our new members. And after it finishes, I'll do the thank you one. But thank you, Wolfie. Only 27 months, best 27 months ever. Thank you to the bestest friend a wolf could have. Love you, MJ. Love you too, Wolfie. And I'll do my thank you. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, I'm so excited. I have no idea. I don't want to say I have no idea what to expect. I know Meatfoot, right? Damn, I didn't even do my little thing. I was just so overwhelmed. I know my little breakdown from Allie, but there's a meat advertisement in here. In a lawsuit, a little meat a meat stick advertisement. Okay. Hey, Legendary. All right, buckle up, Buttercups. We are going in it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up before we even start. I would very much appreciate it. Take that second and do it. And let's see what Tisha claims today. Hi, Auntie's Apple Bottom Jeans. Same old Tisha. Thank you, Kathy, for being a member for 4 months. Little Red is the one who found the You go, Little Red. What's on Pacer? What's Pacer? Is that I'm guessing that's something that you can check for active stuff. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Pacer, but you go, Little Red. Thank you, Little Red. Shout out, Little Red-O. You are the bee's knees. Hey, Avery. Everybody thank Little Red-O for bringing the lawsuit to at least Allie's attention, and then Allie brought it to my attention. Shout out. Thank you so much. Okay. Pacer is a paid site to find court documents. You are awesome. Thank you. Hi, Cal. Hi, Amethyst Gem. If you can tell, I'm really excited for this, okay? I'm really, really excited. All right, are you guys ready? I'm ready. All right. So it says Letecia Stauch, she filed this versus the Kansas Department of Corrections, Secretary Jeff Zmuda, etc. et al. Okay. So Letecia Stauch is a citizen of Kansas who presently resides at Topeka Correctional. So the defendant is Kansas Department of Corrections. So she said the rights have been violated by a state or local official and includes those working for the state in the prison system. Okay, no problem. So also a defendant, Darcy, Secretary of Corrections, designee, and Interstate Corrections Compact, I think it said coordinator, but I'm not sure, it's cut off. And she said works for the prison system or some other part of state or city or government. So she doesn't even know what the actual title is for the person that she's suing. Okay. The little hearts are Allie's watermark. She's adorable that way. And instead of doing like just an A, I did giggle about that earlier. And I'm like, I was expecting like an AE or something for a watermark, but in typical Allie fashion, she does hearts, but I dig it. It's adorable. Hi, Christina. The hearts, unfortunately, don't come with the lawsuit because Letecia does not have a heart. Brooke, you have to make sure you're opted in, but you will know if you got one. One, you'll be green when you type. Two, you'll receive an email, and three, usually on the screen, you'll see the names that get gifted, and so you have to look if your name is one of them. But you'll know if you're green. But if you're not opted in, you won't get one. You have to make sure you're opted in. Okay, so I'll drop those if you need help. Okay, thank you, Harlot. So it says, in addition to those listed above, jurisdiction is under KSA 76 whatever of interstate comp. I'm just going to get to the good parts. So it says, briefly state the background of your case. Now, what I want you to do, thank you, Loretta, as soon as you see the little green box, touch it, and it helps. That's what she said. No, both of them, Harlot, they're both the correct commands. One is for iPhone, one is for Android. So you were correct. She is Alex Erickson's adore. She is Kimberly. Okay. So it says, comes now Letecia Stauch, the petitioner, pro se, and respectfully represents that she is unlawfully deprived of her liberties at Topeka Correctional Facility in Kansas. Oh, I want you guys to pay attention to the handwriting. Okay? Please, just as we go along, pay attention to the handwriting. Just make a little mental note of it. Plaintiff is housed at TCF on an interstate corrections compact between the state of Kansas and the state of Colorado pursuant to KSA 76-3002, Art 1 and Art 4, in which Kansas Correctional Department is an agent in the interstate corrections compact and is violating the plaintiff's civil rights and illegally detaining her in the state of Kansas. Illegally detaining child murderer. Okay, I see you. Really, LJ? Oh, how interesting. Okay, so then it goes on to a cause of action. I allege that the following of my constitutional rights, privileges, or immunities have been violated, and that the following facts form the basis of my allegations. She continues to write. Right. She's fighting the interstate compact. She wants to go back to Colorado, which is pretty bizarre to me, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you not think it's a little bit weird she wants to go back to Colorado? Okay. So, count one, her First Amendment. And yes, she's dotting her I's with hearts. Hi, Brianna. She's dotting her I's with hearts. I don't know. I found that a little bit weird. But her First Amendment, she's claiming to have been violated. Her right to access the courts and First Amendment free speech, right to talk to a lawyer. Also, First Amendment and her free exercise to include her 14th and suspect classification for free X, and it's cut off. And it says, 2, supporting facts. So include all of the facts you consider important, including names of persons involved, places, and dates. Describe exactly how each defendant is involved. Now, we know from back in her kites, we went through her kites, ladies and gentlemen. And how many times did we watch the kiosk deny the kite itself to even be processed because she would not be specific as far as what specifically is the issue? Give us an incident, a date, with who, and what happened. Do you guys remember? It would be the same response over and over again. So let's see if she was able to manage to do it this time. So she said, denying access to the Colorado courts, criminal appeals, inadequate law library, blocking habeas corpus, interfering with a legal claim, denying access to Kansas courts, and interfering with legal documents. So these are, like, as far as corruption, like, you know, and well, potential corruption, it depends on, like, yeah, no, this is some serious claims as far as how it's being run, you know. Hi, Yankee Kyle. And it says her 8th Amendment was violated. Her right to be free from cruel and unusual punishment. Well, her supporting facts include sexual harassment and abuse from defendant number 5, deliberate indifference from prison officials, and prison policy from PREA, knowing the risk of being around institutional violent offenders, housing me with the individual who took the life of a family member, and physical injury by staff without proper medical care. See attachments. I'm sorry, did she just write housing me with the individual who took the life of a family member? You? That's you, Letecia. You took the life of a family member. You killed your stepson. Oh, I hate this. She is extra, Brianna. Okay, let's continue. Then Her right to I can't speak. Her right to due process was violated under the 14th and 5th Amendment. Supporting facts. TCF blocked access to electronic grievances in progress. The right to be free from discrimination, suspect class, and failure to follow equal protection and similarly situated suspect class female. See attachments. In the attachment, she's gonna explain it all, guys. So I know it's a little bit like, huh? What does she mean? She's gonna get into it. So have you ever, okay, she said no. All right. Never filed lawsuit against a prison or in the state of Kansas. All right. I see you. Then it says, I have previously sought informal or formal relief from the appropriate administrative officials regarding the acts of complaint in Part C. Yes. Briefly describe how relief was sought and the results. I have exhausted all remedies through KDOC grievance process and have mailed Colorado DOC several times. I have also filed a habeas corpus in a Kansas district court saying I am illegally detained in Kansas due to civil rights violations. So it says, I believe that I am entitled to the following relief. Letecia writes, injunctive relief to revoke the Interstate Corrections Compact to prevent violations in the future. Compensatory damages, for sexual abuse, physical damage to hand, filing fees, mental deterioration, and continued pain and suffering. Sexual abuse, physical damage to her hand, filing fees, mental deterioration, and continued pain and suffering. Bitch, I thought you were in Prisneyland. I thought you were in Prisneyland. You want money? Oh my God. Along with going back to Colorado. Oh, she does it every time. She cries SA every time to try to get out. It's the I can't say the get out of jail free card, but it's a tactic. Well, the meat sticks are going to come into play. And I can't figure out why, but we're going to try to break it down. So, attachment 1. Now, from here on out, it's Letecia's own words. Okay. Colorado of state law, additional defendants, individuals are state or local officials, which includes those working for the state in the prison system or those contracted. So these are the others who she's trying to sue, who are defendants. Warden Donna Hook, previously Major Hook, head of security during inmates' arrival in August 2023 to January 2024, promoted to warden in February 2024 at Topeka Correctional. 4, Valerie Watts, PREA coordinator and compliance manager. And remember, the PREA is for reporting of the sexual stuff. 5, Officer Dietrich, CO at Topeka Correctional. That is who she is claiming assaulted her. If you guys remember a page back, she said who I listed as number 5. That's Officer Dietrich. which, does anybody know if that's a male or female officer? 6, Dalton Hartpensy, administration at Topeka Correctional Facility. Does anybody know if this officer Dietrich is female or male? Hi, KW10. I'd really like to know if she's claiming sexual assault from a male or a female officer. It's female, LJ? It's male, Little Redo? Which one? I know, right, Elena? It makes me, I can't. All right, well, maybe they'll get into it a little bit. So it says defendants 4 to 6 have the same address. 7, the Colorado Department of Corrections, John Jane Doe, Secretary of Corrections. 8, Michelle Calvin, Health Service Administrator. 9, Holly Chavez, Facility Service Administrator. She's suing everybody and their mother. And she said, involved in a violation of all civil rights and liberties included in this document and will be referenced to often. Information to add to defendant number 7. Number 7 was Colorado Department of Corrections, John and Jane Doe, Secretary of Corrections. Number 7, I am under jurisdiction of Colorado, and my interstate compact coordinator for Colorado has been sent all documents, including grievance numbers, and per the ICC, the Colorado Department of Corrections Secretary can get access and updates at any time from Kansas. I copied the secretary in the mail. So here we go. She starts going through the defendants and listing off why she's suing each defendant. She claims voyeurism, but there are no cameras in the damn bathroom. What?
What?
Oh my goodness. Wait, like voyeurism? Okay, okay. Defendant 1, Jeff Zamuda, acted with deliberate indifference, knows that a serious risk exists, and displayed repeated examples of negligent acts and patterns, and is the Secretary of Corrections responsible for all inmates in Kansas and responsible for daily operations and welfare of all. See, nah. No, Jim John Doe, no.
No.
Yes.
No, sir. I mean, John, no.
Now, you can't just sue everybody and say, well, yeah, you were supposed to do something and you didn't. Like, yes, there's like certain times where like a person at the top is going to be included because you're at the top, but you can't just like say, well, hey, you were in charge of this, you were in charge of that, you were in charge of this, and I deem that all of my shit was violated, and so you're all being sued. You have to have very specific instances that you tried to reach out, you tried to go through the proper networks, and there is proper documentation and a trail that, like a paper trail that shows that, and then nothing came from it, so you can prove it. It's not going to just go by your word, Letecia. So then it says, defendant number 2, Darcy, has violated all rights mentioned in the claim because she is the Interstate Corrections Compact Coordinator, and she's responsible for relaying the information, concerns, and updates to the state of Colorado. So Darcy is being sued because she's in charge of relaying the information. I'm telling you, my rights are being violated, and I deem that she didn't relay the information. Sued. Okay. Defendant number 3, Donna Hook, has violated all rights, not some, not half, 75%. She violated all rights and is the warden of Topeka Correctional Facility for Women in Kansas. In addition, she was the major prior to this. She was the major prior to this and was responsible for security, in which she was negligent and acted with deliberate indifference and ignored prison policy and similar situations. Okay. Defendant 4, Valerie Watts, violated prison policy and due process by failing to make sure PREA standards are met and victims are free from continued sexual abuse, failure to place me on at least restrictive housing per prison policy, and leaving me in a situation that is atypical and in a hardship in relation to ordinary prison life. Doesn't sound like Prisneyland to me, Miss Ma'am. But you can't just she refers to herself as a victim. That's the first part that pissed me off. Continued victims are free from continued sexual abuse. I can't say one way or another whether Letecia suffered any abuse as a child. I'm not inclined to believe the narrative defense pushed. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Defendant 5. Are you kidding me? Defendant 5 is the one you're claiming assaulted you, yet it is the shortest little synopsis, and you don't even have their full name. There's not even a full sentence there. Are you fucking kidding me? Defendant 5, Officer Dietrich. Sexual assault and violates standards of decency and violates the 8th Amendment. Where's the rest, Miss Ma'am? Please tell me she gets into more. Defendant 6, Dalton Hartpence, treated me with deliberate indifference. Every single one she has the same narrative for. Treated me with deliberate indifference, knowing of an obvious risk and continuing to house me with institutional violent offenders. Bitch, that's you. Bitch, that's you. Again, Letecia walks around as if everybody else she is housed with are lower than her, are crazy. She does not believe that, like, she is on that level. She's worse, honestly. Hi, King Scarlet. That's what I'm saying, Neat Noodle. So does it have to be actual abuse, or is self-serving mere accusations supposed to be good enough? Asking for a friend. And then when you don't take my word for it, I'm going to sue you and you and you and you and you because I stomped my feet and I expected you to fire everybody. No. Unless you have a paper trail that leads to you trying to go through the proper routes and the proper channels for each and every one of these defendants and actual, I don't want to say actual 100% proof that the act happened, but documentation that you tried to report everything, you know what I mean? Like, at least circumstantial evidence that points to it happening. You can't do that. So, knowing of an obvious risk, so you knew I was at risk and you continued to let me just be here in jail? You just locked me in this cell and you left me amongst all these other people? Yeah, that's what prison is. Like, you lock them up and throw away the key when you are a kid murderer. Sorry. But what did you expect? You thought, oh no, Letecia Stauch. Poor Tisha. We can't possibly let Tisha be amongst the rest of the children murderers, right? We got to get Tisha out of here. We got somebody stop. Somebody save Tisha. We got to go. Get her into a different cell. Lock her away from everybody else. No, Miss Ma'am. Everybody else is child murderers. Everybody else is there for similar crimes, just as heinous crimes as you. Why would you be anything different? Why would you need special treatment? No. Well, let's ask Tisha. Tisha, would you stop if Harley wrote you a letter and said, Mom, stop embarrassing yourself?
No.
Yes.
No, sir. I mean, John, no.
There you have it. No. So you knew of the obvious risk I was in, and you continued to house me with institutional violent offenders. Even against prison policy and classification, ignoring state statutes and imposing conditions, posing substantial risk, and ignoring the least restrictive environment under policy IMPP 10-1030, rising to the level of cruel and unusual. Failure to have me similarly situated. Failure to have her similarly situated. I want to be housed away from these motherfuckers with my own television, my own shebangs. I don't want to deal with those weirdos. That's not the way it works, and you can't just stomp your feet and sue. This Letecia doesn't understand what happens when you go to prison. Yep, she's at risk. Exactly, Loretto. That's you. You are amongst, if you're calling people violent criminals, violent offenders, that's you. You are amongst yourself, Miss Ma'am. Can't vampires turn into mitts? She should have been out of there. Psst. Just missed away. No, don't, Christina, we don't talk about that here. No, that wasn't Tisha. That was somebody part of the V group. Never mind that. That's ridiculous. Cruel and unusual after what she's done to Gannon. Cruel and unusual punishment. So defendant 7, John Doe. Secretary of Corrections for Colorado. Department of Corrections is responsible for ensuring that inmates are held under humane conditions and that their civil liberties are not violated if they would have been afforded in the sending state. He is deliberately indifferent. If I see one more fucking time that word written, every defendant, he was indifferent, and you were indifferent, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there too. Everybody was indifferent to Tisha. He is deliberately indifferent to these violations, as I have sent multiple letters to include certified and the habeas corpus for illegal detention. Well, what do you consider illegal detention? When you horrifically murder a child and then conceal his body and then abuse his corpse and lie to law enforcement, what do you consider illegal detention? You were found guilty. Defendant 8, Michelle Calvin. Deliberate indifference of medical care. How do you know? How do you know you're receiving different medical care? HIPAA. You don't know what Jim, John, or Doe know next to you are getting as far as medical care? You don't know? Try being my size, Amy. You don't know how it is. Do you know? Anybody see that clip? That's what it just reminded me of. You don't know how it feels. If you know, you know. Okay. So it says oh God. Defendant 8, Michelle, deliberate indifference of medical care. Again, deliberate. Yes, thank you, Septa. But there are things you can do. Thank you. Someone knew what I was talking about. Dude, everybody's been going like making videos with that little sound clip, and it's the funniest thing. Try being my size, Amy. You don't know how it feels. But there are things you can do. Grow up. I am grown. I pay my bills. Okay, so defendant 8, Michelle, deliberate indifference once again of medical care, because she knows what all the other inmates are getting as far as medical care, and a violation of PREA policy for reporting. Right to access the court. Yes, Lace Lemons. Bitch, you aren't pregnant. You're just thirsty. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, boho hobo. Exactly. Lily's Corner. 18 times she used the knife. 4 times used a bat, allegedly, and squeezed the trigger 3 times. And she's talking about being violent with offenders. And she's talking about cruel and unusual punishment. And she's talking about illegally detained, like imprisoned. You know, like, get fuck out of here. Yes, September. Hi, Escape with K-Love. That's what she always does, though, Debbie Doodles. Think about all of the kites we went through, and whenever she was talking about an injury, whenever she was talking about, like, so, oh, I'm dealing with this or that, it was always it paralleled Ganon. It paralleled the injuries that she inflicted upon Ganon, or it paralleled what Ganon like already struggled with in life. Right to access the court. Prison officials have prevented my fundamental right to access the courts by denying access to the courts in Colorado for criminal appeals, denying the right to get reasonable access to law books, inadequate law computers, missing relevant state and federal statutes, Shepherd citations are often unavailable. Although they are on the computer often shuts down or times out when using. Lack of access to information on habeas corpus and law library times that force you to choose between using limited out time of cell for exercise and yard time or for access to the law library could also fall under an Eighth Amendment violation of cruel and unusual punishment as well. I will stop you right there. Girl, we went through all of the incident reports and we went through all of the kites. We know they gave you not only access to the law library, but they urged you to go because you were pro se. And you, oh God, I can't believe I hate people like this. I hate a liar. She said the Mexican mafia was trying to recruit her every time she'd go to the law library. Did you guys forget that? I'm not going to the law library. Every time I go, the Mexican mafia tries to recruit me. Like, come on, Tisha, just join. Come on, all the cool kids are joining. Come on, Tisha, join us. Do it. That's what she said. That's what at first she said. The Mexican mafia was trying to recruit her. Then she didn't like the time slot. Yes, was it the best time slot? No, it wasn't a great time slot, but it interfered with the medication she took, which made her drowsy. And so she didn't like having to go to the law library in the early morning hours, but that was her time slot. But what did they even do? They even offered to rearrange when you took that medication so that you wouldn't be drowsy for the law library. And you still said no, you didn't want to do that because then you didn't want to be drowsy during the daytime hours. So what you can't do is sit here and say they denied you access to the law library when we read it, every incident report where it says went to the cell, told Letecia it was her time to go to the law library. She denied wanting to go, urged her to go, explained that she's pro se. It's very important that she utilizes these law library hours. And she said she's not interested. She said, take me off the list. And they even wrote down in them how they weren't going to take her off the list just yet. Like they were going to give her time because once they take you off the list, you're screwed. They were even giving her time. Hi, Miss Virgo Mama. The facility does not maintain library facilities at each housing location. and restricts residents from these locations to attend the library in other locations. These are not comparable to those of a public or educational library. Bitch, no, they're not going to be comparable to a public library. This is not a public or educational library. This is a prison law library. You're not about to get a Junie B. Jones book in fucking prison. This factor contributes to reasons behind being denied the right to access the courts. I originally explained the issue to the law librarian in order to start the grievance process through KDOC policy. I escalated the issue through several individuals to include the unit team, defendant 6, Dalton is the supervisor of the unit team manager, the facility service administrator, warden Hook, who's defendant 3, secretary of corrections, who's defendant 1, and copied and mailed a copy to defendant 7, the Colorado secretary of corrections. I explained that the lack of resources deprived me of a specific opportunity to defend myself and advance a viable legal claim in a criminal appeal, a post-conviction matter, and an action involving civil rights. Welcome, Boho Hobo. Thank you so much for becoming a member. We're very happy to have you part of the channel. So thank you so much for the support. Thank you. In fact, my information would be dismissed due to the technical requirements and the statute of limitations. She always writes statute. It's statute of limitations, but statute of limitations, okay? So my information would be dismissed due to the technical requirements and the statute of limitations for filing and responding due to the inadequacies and cause me substantial harm and permanent injury. Permanent injury? What about Gannon? Hashtag what about Gannon? That's what she's writing, though, MK. Statute of limitations. Hey, Glowbug. I reference the state statutes. The state statutes. Oh, it bothers me, girl. I reference the state statutes. Mine is the Statue of Liberty. Just saying. For time limits, and I attached a letter about a current legal matter that was dismissed due to the right to access the courts. Prison policy for electronic communications tablet assigns an electronic number, and individuals respond electronically. Note, I have requested copies of all electronic forms and have been given permission to get them for exhibits. Under the prison policy, however, they have never been delivered. This is a culture at TCF to keep individuals from progressing in a legal action against the facility. It is also part of the campaign of harassment enforced by officials for planning to file a USC 1983 several electronic emails suggesting this when trying to collect data, and for filing a habeas in the local district court. Next, the right to access the courts continued with filing a habeas corpus in Shawnee County District Court. The facility said that there is a mandatory e-file for documents. Therefore, these items are sent through the law librarian. On multiple visits to the law library, I attempted to e-file these documents for illegal detention in the state of Kansas under KSA 60-1501 for violating the Interstate Corrections Compact statutes under KSA 76-3001, KSA 76-3002, and 3003. I was informed that the e-file system had yet to deliver the items to the court. This is continued interference of advancing a legal claim. I then mailed in the documents in January of 2024 and had a friend call to see if they were delivered. This is 2 months ago, guys. They were not at that time of this document. I have had issues with defendant number 6, Dalton, taking my mail and not delivering it in the presence of a sergeant. I emailed the facility so that the FSA and warden could look into this for illegally taking mail. However, they ignored Hart Pence's actions. To clarify, these were legal documents and mail sent to a defendant, Darcy, and the Colorado Department of Corrections. These are additional electronic forms to show the denial of court access. I could write these out verbatim, but TCF suspended my electronic form 9s and grievances, including those that were active, not only blocking my access to revisit them, but violating due process, which will be addressed later in this document, preventing me from advancing those that were at a step 3, warden, to step 4, Secretary of Corrections, Zmuda. I was eventually told by the unit team, the FSA, and interstate coordinator that they did not have to provide this in the library. I was sent a paper about legal assistance from an outside agency. I replied that I was pro se and that the outside agency did not provide resources for civil rights claims and do not help out-of-state residents and was not authorized to give information or practice law outside of Kansas. I once again reminded them that I was on an interstate corrections compact out of state. I escalated and others to the warden, who did not respond in a time frame and mailed to number 2 and number 1. This is one of these suspended access grievances. Whew, hold on, let me check in with you guys. How you guys doing? You guys holding on with me? Okay. Whew. Finally, the facility has constantly denied access to an attorney through our telephone system since August of 2024. I began asking about adding an attorney through the unit team to include Mr. Miller, a counselor, UTM Holvaria, and through defendant 3, who was the major at the time, and defendant number 9, the FSA. I did not receive the paper form 9s back from these officials. This is when I started documenting and sending through electronically, since the paper requests were never returned. I noticed that there was not any numbers or way of tracking on the paper from 9s to staff. This is how they can refuse to respond and are not held liable for it. Instead, there is a slip that tears off of the forms, but no way to verify that it actually came from that specific one. Therefore, I waited for responses to no available. I followed policy of the KDOC TCF for adding an attorney by including a letter from the attorney asking to be added. I was denied for several months. I sent the UTM a message about the denial and following policy, and then again on XYZ. I then messaged the FSA. I escalated the issue to the warden about the attorney, and this is an open grievance that they blocked me from proceeding forward with because it was electronic. I then sent a request to step 4 defendant number 1 on February 1st about not having an attorney added. However, I did not have the grievance number for this because I do not have access to the ones in progress electronically. It was sent back by defendant number 1, 8th Amendment. Jesus. Good night, LJ. She writes horribly. I know, malicious. Like, she has a real hard time forming sentences to make logical sense. You know what I mean? Topeka correct. Okay, so this is how her 8th Amendment, how her 8th Amendment was violated. And if anybody doesn't know, yeah, if anybody doesn't know what the 8th Amendment, that's the cruel and unusual punishment part. So is that when she was talking? Well, this is where it frustrates me, Pickle, and I hear what you're saying. She does have access to the things she was relaying in those messages, you know? And she does have a TV. She does have a radio. She does have access to all those channels. She does have access to the commissary. So she is cooking things, and it's too much, you know? She does have a tablet. She is able to message anybody. Like, she shouldn't have that, in my opinion. It's not as hard as it should be. She smelled like straight shit prior to being arrested, so there ain't no excuse. So, explanation of how her 8th Amendment has been violated, and that prohibits cruel and unusual punishments. And so let's see what she says. Topeka Correctional Facility shows deliberate indifference to an excessive risk of serious harm when they were aware and had actual knowledge. This includes defendant number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 8, and number 9. I was sexually harassed by Officer Dietrich, defendant number 5, in August of 2023, in which the officer watched me change clothing and participated in voyeurism, a violation. Oh, no, she did not. If you don't know what is there anybody who doesn't know what voyeurism is? Do I need to explain it or no? Because, you're in prison. You bet your bottom dollar they're going to watch you if they feel the need to watch you. That ain't checking you out. Girl, trust me. I've seen your fucking toenails. I've seen those talons. I don't want to know what the rest look like. If those are the seen parts, I don't want to see the unseen parts. I don't want to imagine what the unseen parts are. Nobody is participating in voyeurism. They ain't voyaging your body. I could tell you that. Jim, John Doe, no. No, no, no. this is, if they even think you may have something, and where do you put something in prison when you don't want it to be found? Okay. So if they need to watch you, they need to watch you. They're allowed to watch you. Let me be clear. They're allowed to watch you. And just because you catch their eyes on you does not mean you can sue for sexual harassment. Not when you're in prison. Oh my Lord. It's a prison pocket, Katrina. Katrina. Ew. But yes, it's a prison pocket. That is right. Oof. Oh, man. Eesh. Yes, it's a fucking prison pocket. Is that a thing? Because it's the funniest thing I've heard in a while. Ooh. Yeah, and they get paid to watch you, right, Chrissy? Yes, too. And she also stood naked on purpose. Girl, just grab your tits and go home. Cut it out. Cut it out. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. Go bitch about the naked lady in your vent because you are voyaging her. You're committing voyeurism on her because you keep looking in your vent, don't you? That we hear you call after call after call talking about that naked lady in your vent. How do you know she's naked? Miss ma'am? How do you know she's naked, screaming about the meth she wants? Well, I imagine it's because you have set your eyes on her. So knock it off. Oh my good Lord. That is a legit call for. They put it in their prison pocket. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. So I was sexually harassed, in which the officer watched me change clothing and participated in voyeurism, a violation of 44-15-204. The facility has a policy in place through EAI to investigate. They did not investigate or talk to me in August of 2023. Due to the negligence of TCF, the issue escalated and I was sexually assaulted by Officer Dietrich in the shower in October of 2023. I sent emergency grievances under 44-15-106 in October of 2023. The facility refused to open those grievances. After complaining and asking to speak to mental health for approximately 3 months, defendant number 9 responded that no one was available to open and respond to emergency grievances. The abuse continued, and prison officials were negligent and deliberate because they knew about the continued sexual abuse that occurs at Topeka Correctional from staff. I was told that there were not cameras in the shower in Pod 4, but the facility is aware that defendants number 5 entered into the shower area as part of their policy for showering in Pod 4. Bitch, you know that's the one place they aren't allowed to have the cameras. You know that. So that's a convenient place that this occurred, okay? Exactly, Lena. Conveniently, no cameras. I was told, oh, okay, I read that already. So, however, he did not have the right to re-enter or hang out in that area. So it is a guy. The sexual abuse that occurred and the handling afterwards is a violation of IMPP 10-103D and is cruel and unusual punishment. Plaintiff is not trying to bring a lawsuit for a violation of PREA, but to use PREA and PREA violations by defendant number 1, 3, 4, 5, and 9 to support an Eighth Amendment failure to protect claim and for not taking reasonable steps to protect by not following KDOC, the federal PREA, and to show deliberate indifference to inmate is incarcerated under conditions posing a substantial risk of serious harm. These prison officials are deliberately indifferent to my safety, and they have knowledge that I have faced substantial risk of harm and disregard that risk by failing to take reasonable measures to abate it and ignoring the emergency grievances for months. I was forced to stay around my abuser, number 5, who continued to harass me or my job. I continued to report the issue and the retaliation to defendant number 4, Valerie Watts, who is the compliance manager, and defendant number 3 and 9. They ignored the retaliation and emails. I reported these to Holly Chavez because there is not an appeal grieve tab for Valerie Watts. The facility continued to cover up the abuse and retaliation through non-responses and saying the system had an error yet again. Then Dalton forced Linda to take my job from me for reporting to PREA. The group developed a campaign of harassment for doing something I had a constitutional right to do: be free from cruel and unusual punishment and sexual abuse. This was and is an atypical situation in relation to the ordinary incidents of prison life. You have a right to be free from cruel and unusual punishment. Not after what you did to Gannon in my book. I'm sorry. Not after what you did to Gannon. I don't believe any of this is happening. So we're just going to nip it in the butt right there. But I'll be honest, even if it was, and I know there's going to be a lot of people who are like, that's not right. Yeah, but I really feel that way about Tisha. I would not bat an eye. I'd sleep just fine at night. I really would. And sexual abuse, well, would giving Gannon an enema daily count as sexual abuse? Because that's what your defense put out, that you had this weird, kinky fetish with unhealthy relationship, and it was a very blurry line, and you would give Gannon these daily enemas because of the abuse you sustained as a kid, allegedly. You want to talk about that? So you want to talk about having the right to be free from cruel and unusual punishment and sexual abuse, all while inflicting cruel and unusual punishment and sexual abuse? Nah. But again, I don't believe any of this. Right, it's the boy who cried wolf. Maybe, just maybe, If you didn't lie to the extreme that you lied, when something may actually genuinely happen, people would be more inclined to believe you if you had some credibility. Yeah, and you've claimed sexual abuse and schmape how many times before? Hi, Michelle. How many times before? But no, you really mean it this time? Fuck out of here. Next, I sustained an injury, not an accident, but motivated by an evil intent at the hands of staff and the facility prison officials. Number 3, 8, and 9 were deliberate in covering up that a staff member did it. On November 6, 2023, a staff member, unknown name as I was new to the facility and was not looking to see what various officers were in the pod, was angry that doors were opened in pod 1B and began yelling and slamming doors. I was leaving out for aerobics and my hand was hanging out the door as I was leaving. The staff member told me that I should not have the door open and slammed it on my right ring finger. Ouch, Charlie! I told the officer on shift, but there was never a report written by staff. Even when an incident happened and a medical emergency was declared. Wait, bitch, wait. A medical emergency was declared? Wait. A medical emergency was declared because your fucking finger got shut in a door? Put a 1 in the chat if your finger has ever been closed in a door. I literally remember as a kid, my cousin slammed the door and my finger was still in the not even in the part that opens. My finger was in the other part, like the hinge area, and it slammed shut and it stayed shut. And when my finger came out, it was flat. It was flat, okay? Like, I to this day don't know how it blew back up to normal, but that shit got flat. And then eventually the nail turned black and it fell off. I don't even remember leaving the family event, okay? There was no fucking medical emergency. It was, here's an ice pack, brush it off and go back to playing Sega, okay? Shut the fuck up. You cannot tell me they declared a medical emergency, yet you don't have any incident report, any form of documentation that this ever occurred. Because that's what she's saying. I have no proof. They did not let me write a report. Nothing. No, but they declared a medical emergency. You guys have seen the case files. You guys see how fucking detailed they are. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that never is it possible that something gets covered up. Of course, I'm not, naive. Let's be real. But everything is so precisely detailed. Every hour is logged. Every incident is logged. You're telling me a medical emergency was declared on the pod, which would mean that the pod would get locked down. Everybody would return there to their fucking cells, and all for your finger, and you have no documentation to back it up. But how's she gonna paint on the wall now? I don't know. That's true, under review. Oh, thank you, Sarah Beth. That's so sweet. Thank you. And I'll never forget. Listen, I sympathize with anybody whose fingers have been lodged in a door. Okay. Especially as a kid, because my fucking cousins were too stupid and didn't know to open the door. Like shit. Like I said, my finger was lodged not in the door side. It was lodged on the hinge side, so I couldn't even make my way to the doorknob if I wanted to. Like, that shit hurts. But medical emergency? I think not. Unless it was like knuckle. Now, if it was knuckle, then you gotta go to the doctor, okay? But like, come on, Tisha. Come on. All I'm saying is that there would be an incident report. You bet your bottom dollar there'd be an incident report that you would have attached to this. Each, yeah. Oh, ouchie. Yep. Dude, it was flat. That's all I remember. And then I was severely embarrassed because it took months for my nail, like my nail turned black. And then like over time that nail falls off, and it was gross as a kid. Like, it's like, what the fuck? It would be gross now. I'm not, you know what I mean? But like as a kid, I couldn't understand, like, shit, the fuck they do. Stop it, Little Red. Oh my God. Oh. I don't even know when her book Figurines comes out. You guys. Okay. So she's like, there was never a written report about it. Nothing. So she said defendant 8 and 9 then hid the injury. How'd they hide your injury? Put that finger away right fucking now. Put that finger in your pocket. How'd they hide your injury? I know. Tisha. Oh, Tisha. So defendant number 8 and 9 hid my injury, blaming it on me. However, I have permanent nerve damage in my right hand as a result. How do you know? How do you know? Have you been to doctors that have declared that this is permanent nerve damage? I think not. You can't just diagnose yourself. Letecia loves to diagnose herself. You can't just diagnose yourself. But I have permanent nerve damage in my right hand as a result. I have lost feeling in my hand. I have continued sharp pains and on and off swelling. I went to several sick calls throughout November, including x-rays and a metal splint placed on it. Bitch, listen, I probably had 6 splints put on fingers throughout my life. That's just what they put on any time your finger, like you have an issue with your finger. If it's broken, you get a splint. If it's sprained, you get a splint. If it's bothering you and they can't figure out why, you get a splint. It's just what you get because there's nothing they could do. The bone healed, but the nerve damage could last 2 years. I thought it was permanent. I thought it was permanent. I thought it was permanent. Okay. So the bone healed, but the nerve damage could last 2 years or more, according to the Centurion doctor on February 12, 2024. The facility failed to follow its own policy for reporting an incident, then covered it up and was indifferent to my health and safety. I grieved the incident and spoke with Holly Chavez several times, even escalating the issue to Donna Hook. Instead of addressing and correcting the situation, Donna Hook became warden, promotion from major, and ignored the abuse from staff. I appealed it to Zmuda, and the facility suspended the electronic trail of communication to avoid the issue and to prevent me from emailing and responding with current open Form 9s and grievances. Due process. Damn, girl. Whew, hold on. Let me stretch my legs for a quick second. She just keeps on. Okay. All right. Next, prison officials number 1, 2, 3, 6 are to provide reasonable safety and must refrain from subjecting them to unnecessary violence. And these officials have actual knowledge of the risk of being around institutional violent offenders. Individuals are purposefully avoiding knowledge and it amounts to deliberate indifference. This situation is atypical because no prison to which I might be transferred for non-disciplinary reasons are more restrictive. In fact, the courts have responded with, if the prison was a country club-like atmosphere in which prisoners enjoyed a great deal of time out of their cells, would work as a typical and significant deprivation of liberty. TCF is a country club at JCH and Central Compound, which I am qualified for based on KDOC classification policy, as I am not a disciplinary issue. My sending state of Colorado was the same way, as I enjoyed the same freedoms. The above prison official housed me in an atypical situations, and I have significant hardships in relations to ordinary prison life. Not only is it cruel and unusual, but also an equal protection claim. I met with Dalton in October of 2023 and explained that I was not similarly situated and discriminated against because others in the same situation were treated differently, and that I was not an institutional violent offender. I produced a comparison chart with other inmates and sent it to Dalton and the warden. They responded with, oh no, where's the last one? Hold on. Wait, unless they responded with that. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Hold on. They responded with, and then this. Hold on. This is not, and then I don't see anything else. Okay, it cut off there, little red. Okay. Thank you, Katrina, for being a member for 4 months. 4 months of deliberate indifference towards Tisha. Woo woo! And thank you, Lace Lemons, for the $2 super sticker. Thank you both very much for your support. Okay. Well, okay, and so we're gonna get into that, Miss Virgo. All right. So I don't know why I cut off there. But then included in her attachments, she included this Valentine's Day card. Okay? How about that? And it's a Hallmark card, and it says, Happy Heart Day. Now, who is sending Letecia a Valentine's Day card, may you ask? That's a great question. Let's see. 2 baiters. 2, dear Lila, 2 baiters, in parentheses, beautiful. I miss you. I have to admit, I'm writing you this with tears in my eyes. I'm so sad. There's never a time that there is something more than your phone call. I'm never too busy for you, ever. If I ever miss it, it's because I just missed it. If I ever missed your call, it's because I missed it. You know that is Letecia logic. That ain't nobody else's logic other than Tisha logic. Prove me wrong. If I ever miss your call, it's because I just missed it. So always call back when you can. I'm getting a new phone. It's coming in the mail. So I'll have to take it to get everything transferred soon. So if you call at that time, that's what's going on. I'm just getting a little upgrade. I knew something was wrong. Try to keep your head up. You're very loved and cared for. I'm doing what I can to help. I will do anything for you. Happy Valentine's Day. You're so amazing and the most beautiful person I know. I hope you'll be able to get a hold of me very soon. Sorry, so messy. Why was this included? Hey, Court, why was this included in a fucking lawsuit? Please, if you have opinions, thoughts, theories, I'm all open to them because I do not know. But what people are saying is that looks mighty like her handwriting. Well, it wouldn't be the first time Letecia sent stuff to herself. Peanut butter threat. I don't trust anything. If she included this in her lawsuit, there's a reason, obviously. But right off the bat, the most beautiful woman I know, nah. This is no. This is probably Tisha. Come on, guys. But real, what significance is it in this lawsuit? Exactly. It's part of the lawsuit forever. I don't that's the only thing I could think of, Blue, is if she turns around and says it's from that defendant. Then this is the other part I don't get. Scouting meat sticks fundraiser. Each stick net weight 1 ounce. Hot Cajun style, New Orleans inspired. Mango habanero, sweet and spicy. Old number 9, grilled steak and bourbon peppercorn sauce. Sweet Annie Brown, honey and brown sugar. Sweet Fire, sweet Annie Brown with a touch of crushed pepper. $1.50 each, bundle of all five flavors, $7. 1 stick, $1.50. 2 sticks, $3. She got 2 sticks of sweet Annie Browns. All proceeds help to support Boy Scouts. What the fuck is this? Why? What is this? And what's a meat stick? I have no idea what a meat stick is. We have cookies that the Scouts sell here. We don't have meat sticks that they sell here. A Slim Jim? Wyatt? Oh. Like jerky? Oh, that is not. Okay. That's more makes more sense than what I was imagining. I was thinking more like fucking like a gyro meat, like a meat stick, like like a kebab. Like fucking like these Boy Scouts are on the side like the New York City vendors with fucking gyro meat and kebab sticks. But I guess beef jerky makes more logical sense, I guess. Okay. Oh man. Dude, I love gyros or kebabs. I prefer that over the jerky, honestly. Not rotisserie. You ever see it fucking the gyro meat and they take that jumbo knife and they slice it? Shit. Selling skewers. Yes. 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 Yeah. Please get these skewers today to help our Scouts in need. That's how I was imagining it, man. But I guess Slim Jims and shit makes a bit more sense. Oh man. Okay. A meat stick. Well, why don't they just call it fucking jerky? Meat sticks sound weird from the get-go, let's be fair, okay? Jesus. That's so weird. She ordered. Ooh, this is circled. This bundle here, and she got the 2 sweet Annie Browns, which is the honey and brown sugar. She knew what she wanted. Oh, welcome, Court. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. You look big. Yeah, now it makes sense. But what does this have to do with a lawsuit?
You were big. I'm serious. You look big.
I only weighed 140 something.
Well, you look humongous. But anyway, darling, I know it's time for us to go. I'll holler at you later. I love you.
She could sweeten her coffee by stirring it with the brown sugar meat stick. Well, we already know she was working with Bertha, okay? And Combs to make that sweet potato juice sweetener for the coffee, okay? Slim Jim trademarked, so can't use it. But it could just be jerky, right? Meat stick sounds, come on. Listen, the boys are selling the meat stick. Like, nah, it sounds wrong. You had one job, Bertha. Yes. Oh my gosh. No, Kimberly, we still have no idea how this is associated at all to the sexual harassment, to the cruel and unusual punishment, to the denied access to the law library. What is the Scouting Meat Sticks fundraiser significance? I do not know. Hi, Allie. Yeah, you missed it. But what does it mean, Allie? What's the meat sticks mean? And then there was just this little less. Oh yeah, this is the part that was cut off. I'll have to take it in to get everything transferred soon. So if you call at that time, that's what's going on. I'm just getting an upgrade. Yeah. But then the name is cut off intentionally. That's what Allie was telling me. The name's cut off. It's intentionally cut off. Why would she leave the name cut off? Why wouldn't you include it? Tell us what the significance is. What are these meat sticks? Who sent this Valentine's Day card? It's the most bizarre thing. But this handwriting has a lot of similarities to this. Look. So if she turns around and tries to claim it was the officer who harassed her, listen, I don't think they'd be that dumb. Yeah, Molly Henry, exactly. It is odd. I don't know, guys. But this is a current suit. You know, like this is. She's not going to ever stop. That's all it tells us, is that it's never going to stop. And that's what makes Tisha unique. That's what separates Tisha from everybody else, in my opinion. Meat sticks for her prison pockets. Yes. Well, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know if the Valentine's Day card and the meat stick fundraiser have any association directly to one another. I don't think so, boho hobo. I think that's what throws me off, but yes, maybe that just like, but maybe it's like a peanut butter threat again. And we all know how that turned out. You guys remember how the peanut butter threat, she claimed she got this legitimate threat in her peanut butter despite an officer overseeing the inmates who prepare the meals. Then they not only watch them make the meals, they check it before it leaves the kitchen. They check the tray. Then when it gets to Tisha again, the tray is checked again and then handed to Tisha. And then conveniently, after being in Tisha, like cell for a moment, she's freaks out and says, this threat was in my peanut butter. Yet when you look at the physical picture, thank God we eventually saw the photo in the case files, because it was this long ass, it was like a C scroll. It was this long, you thought it would be a little tiny piece of paper. It was this long ass C scroll. Like it was like as if like the olden days when like they'd roll out like the declaration shit. It was this long, it was a CVS receipt. That's what it was. You know how long a CVS receipt is? Fuck, I could like wrap a present with a CVS receipt. That's what this peanut butter threat looked like. And conveniently, it was written like in a very hieroglyphic type way, but it only the little edges had peanut butter on it. There was no way this thing was fully submerged in peanut butter. Ain't no way. I know. We found out earlier, Alia. We all thanked Little Red very much for finding these. It's just ridiculous. No, I guess not like a kebab versus like a Slim of the Gym. A Slim Jim. But that's the lawsuit. That's where Tisha is. I'm curious where it goes, where it leads. I know it's not going to be the last we hear of it. So, thank you again, a Little Red, and thank you again to Allie, like for bringing it. Thank you, Little Red, for bringing it to Allie, and then thank you, Allie, for bringing it to me. But it is, I have no idea I have no idea the significance of the Valentine's Day card. I have no idea what the significance of the meat stick thing is, but I guess we will have to wait for some more context. But she's trying to get back to Colorado, which I really don't know in the long run what her game plan is, but it's not just to get there. She's thinking ahead, and so there's something she's trying to get from it. I guess we'll have to wait to see. But all right, guys, so I'm gonna hop off for tonight. We were supposed to start December of 2020's calls tonight, so we're gonna start that on Tuesday, not tomorrow, but Tuesday. Because I already have a different live scheduled for tomorrow for members only. And so thank you all so much for being here. Thank you again, Allie and Little Red O. Shout out to Elena. Thank you so much. That was so insanely generous and kind, and congratulations to all of our new members that get to attend for our members only Monday tomorrow. Very, very excited. That's now a big members only live to do. And so I will see you guys. If you're not going to be there for tomorrow's live, I will see you then on Tuesday so we could start December of 2020's calls. And I'm really, really excited and looking forward to it. So thank you all so much for being here. Hope you all had an amazing weekend, and I will talk to you all soon.